some folks haven't really seen this trailer. They saw bits and pieces of it. Let's just start in the front. We put some new propane hoses on there. This has the regulator as well as the easy fitting. Compared to the one we took off, it's advanced by a lot. We're going to redo the wiring. All the wiring matches. We're just going to double check it again for safety and then make some better connections. We'll paint all this and then we'll drop in our tank, our propane tank, and then put in some new bolts to secure the propane tank. This front area of the trailer is in really good shape. This is the actual original glass. It looks brand new. These scrolls, as I understand, for you Fireball aficionados, are pretty desirable on these trailers, so I was going to take them off, but I'm going to keep them there now. We found a gentleman who is so busy that I can't mention his name, but he actually remanufactures these original Fireball signs, so that's cool. Looking up front, you see a couple X's here. I went around and I X'd any areas that needed a little bit more attention when we do the body work. There's about a dozen of them in total, which is not many. We're going to get in there with some filler. I bought some filler for the trailer. Not only will we touch every panel when we scuff it, but we'll fill it at that time because we'll know where the holes are. This door, we've already put a new stopper in, but we're going to frame it with wood and then have this will have an old wood look to it, as well as take advantage of these little sliders. Put a screen in there, and it's going to be really cool. You know, when you're framing and doing work on the inside, it's easy to forget about the outside. For example, although we're doing framework inside, you have to remove these screws in this strip because they screw into that wood that you're going to be ultimately replacing. Even if you didn't know that, you couldn't help but realize that once you took out all the interior paneling and the insulation and all the dry rotted wood. But there's a little bit more to it. Just because you're working on the inside, be mindful of what's outside it as well, because more than likely you have to be dealing with it. This is coming along nice. We've cleaned the frame and we've cleaned the glass. I've got to silicone the glass and just buff it up a little bit. That'll literally be ready to be silicone and screwed right back in there. I'm going to wait till Fred finishes the framing before we do that. But we're in really good shape on the back here. Got a couple little spots, nothing major, because if there was, it would be X'd out. We're also going to bolt on a mount that'll hold our spare. It literally bolts right, there's a bracket that bolts to the bumper, and then there's a fork that sticks out where a 3 or 4 spoked wheel, 4-hole wheel will fit right on, and that's where your spare rides, right on the bumper. So, Fred's on the flooring, I'm catching up. Doing a great job, more than the flooring. I'm just doing whatever I can, doing a little sanding, doing a little siliconing. It's coming along. A little bit at a time, but it's coming together quick. Thanks for staying in touch with us and kind of keep an eye on what's happening with the Fireball, and don't miss these next couple of weeks, because now it's going to really get fun. Wait till we start painting this thing. That's when it's going to get really fun. You know, I was just reading my 1962 April issue of Trailer News, and I found a nice story on the Fireball. Visit the little-known area at the base of the Hoover Dam, and as you open it up, it's a nice little story about the Fireball. It's got the owner depicted with some models that he hired to promote things. Pretty cool little deal. Actually, Emmanuel, our producer, found these magazines at a really cool show, Inspiration LA, so we bought like 5 of them. So I'm going to have access to a lot of cool old ads. There's one for Terry. How to build a camper table and stool set. All kinds of things. A lot of travel. Where to go. How to work on your... Look, a nice ad from Shasta back in the day with their 5 models. Oh, really cool. Where to go with your trailer. They did it right. It's kind of a lifestyle magazine. They did a really good job back at that time. So there's a 1962 edition of Trailer News with the Fireball. We'll share some of these stories with you and some of these photos as well, not to mention some of the ads from some of the manufacturers, because it's like if you had a Terry, I'm sure this would probably be of interest to you, right? So I've got them. I've got 5 magazines. Trailer News.